hope one of those actually arrived. Welcome. This is the informational meeting on how do you turn in a game proposal for the CTIN 491, CS CI 491, CS CI 529 class for next year. And how many of you are going to turn in a design doc? Okay, whoa, that looks, count them all. Count that many.
Yikes.
That's a lot.
How many groups are there? Can we get that instead?
Unique groups. Unique groups.
One. Alright, just one foundation group. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay.
So last time I think we got 26. Okay, and what we did is we got these and we read through them all, faculty and game industry advisors. We got to pick those guys.
We kind of did. We haven't sent out an email.
Oh, we haven't asked them. We're just
Yeah.
going to send to them. So please review now. And we got, after getting 26, we got it down to 13. Inside of a week, we had everyone read everything in a week, and we got it down to 13. And those 13 we told come in and do a verbal pitch, which is some PowerPoint, stand up at the front of the room, bring your whole team, have them stand up there, and then what we were choosing last year, we thought we were just choosing 7 games. We actually needed to choose 8 games, just from the size of the class. So this year we'll just choose 8 games from the get-go. And that's what we'll do. And we'll let you know almost immediately. So on pitch day, we'll have you come in and do really quick pitches. And then we'll kick you out, and then the industry people who are here, the faculty who are here, we'll rank them all on the whiteboard and figure out which ones we get going. All right? That's exactly it. If there's only 9 turned in, and we're going to choose 8, now you know what? There's going to be people who can't make today that maybe don't even read their email but once a month. We only sent this out, what, last Friday?
Yeah.
This is 1 week. Some people don't read email very fast. This went out on the USC Games list
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
and the Game Park list.
Yes.
So both lists, good. So I want to make sure of
Twice.
that. So how do you win this contest? Let me talk about that. Maybe is this a good place for me? I mean, I should be in the front.
Be in the front.
Be in the front. Woo! How do you win this contest? See, you win this contest by now I'm being blinded. All right. I'm going to stand slightly off from the good. Now I can stand slightly off from the projector. You win this contest by turning in a design doc that is totally awesome, which means you've got a gameplay mechanic that we want to play, and you've got concept art in there that's just wonderful. And if you have a prototype, some kind of a prototype, that's even better. So in the past, some of the winning docs that we got at the first level, when we have 26 of these design docs, some of them have a link that says, here's the QuickTime link. Go play this video. Here's a YouTube link. Go play a video of the prototype we built. So in fact, I just went and looked at the Scrapyard submission for last year. Both Scrapyard and Core Overload were wonderful submissions. They just stuck out in my mind. And I went and looked at them just this morning. And the Scrapyard one had a link, and it was just a YouTube video which was concept art of the characters and the interfaces. And then there was, I think, about a 5-second play. And you look at the 5-second play, it has nothing to, it doesn't look at all like what they have today. But when we saw them give the pitch in this room, once we were down to 13, they actually had a playable piece. And that, if you go over and look at that game today, that team is rock. And they also had another thing in their document, which I thought was amazing. And this is again part of the winning strategy. Is the document comes in with, here's the lead designer, here's the name, here's the lead programmer, here's the lead artist, here is the producer, and we have all of these people committed. The committed size. How many people do you have committed in Scrapyard, Chris?
We had most of the team, so it's probably 10, 15 people.
Yeah, they had 10 or 15 people. In fact, when I actually went to give them an extra person, they were like, no, we don't need an extra person. They took him.
He was great.
He's a good guy. So I remember this. So they had pretty much their team. So if somebody comes in and they've got a running demo of what they're doing, and they've got beautiful concept art, and they've got a gameplay doc that looks awesome, and a team, very hard for us to turn it down. right? Yeah, Scott.
Just one mention, by prototype, it doesn't necessarily have to be in the engine of your choice. It can be something very light that you put
Flash
together in Unity.
prototype.
Flash prototype, Unity 3D prototype. It doesn't have to be your final engine if you're shooting for the stars.
And it doesn't have to have final art. It can
Absolutely.
It can be placeholder art.
Right.
So if so the Scrapyard guys, they just wanted to show this, these characters. It was like almost like a classic fighting game, and it was like we'd never had anybody build a fighting game in this class. If you look at the art that they have now, it's a beautiful game, absolutely beautiful. So it was a good choice for our part. Core Overload also, little bit of preparation. Emery Irpon, who is the lead of Core Overload, did something that's completely crazy. He is both an artist. He's also an artist, and he is the lead on that project. And the year before this year, he served as the artist, I think, on 3 or 4 of the 491 games. He did art for a bunch of games at a time. And then when he got to this year, he knew the entire process of building games, and he's taking the class finally for real. And so he's a rock star in that. He did his homework. I think you were in this twice, right? And how many people on your team were in this twice?
Oh, Scrapyard?
Yeah, Scott.
A lot of us.
Yeah. You have a
Well
lot
over
of
half the
veterans.
team is a veteran.
Okay,
Yeah,
so-
veterans know it because of the pain of dealing with it previously.
Yes.
And I don't say that in jest.
No,
I mean, you
absolutely.
really do learn a lot of stuff by working on other teams too.
Yeah.
So if you get people with experience, that's gold.
Yeah. So if you have if you're building a team, look for somebody who is in maybe the 4+1 program in the Viterbi school, or in, I don't know if they have that in Cinnamon. Viterbi, you can add an extra year and get a master's. And so we have a bunch of kids who are getting like the master's in CS, specializing in games. They'll take 491 A and B at the end of their senior year, and then next year they're in the master's program. They sign up for 529 A and B and build a second game, which just means they have a fantastic portfolio on graduation,
Right.
and they're really rocking. This is not necessary, but just to tell you some of the things that people do. This class, we started this in 2005. Some of the games have gone on and done fantastic. DancePad came out of this class, and they got a deal with Creative Artists Agency, and it came out as Jennifer Lopez's DancePad. And I don't know, they're splitting royalties with her. I don't know if they've ever gotten any royalties, but that's a pretty cool thing to write in your resume. The Misadventures of P.B. Winterbottom was a 491 class project, and that got a deal with Creative Artists Agency through Demo Day as well. And they went off, and that was one of the top 5 games in Xbox Live Arcade for a while. And so that's pretty cool. Other people who were in precursor versions of this class, Genova Chen, a long time ago. I like to think of him as Scott, you had him in your class, Scott?
I had him in my first TA in the first pipelines class I ever taught.
And I worked with him. I had some NSF money to build a game called Immunitac, and he was the designer for Immunitac, and his programmer was a guy named Sumit Jakadar. Sumit is the senior engineer at Treyarch on all the Black Ops 2, Black Ops 1, Modern Warfare 3, and Call of Duty World War. He's my TA from a mobile games class, so those guys got to work together early. So out of this class, we graduate rock stars, right? And so this is where you want to, this turning in a fantastic design is what you want to do. Now we have some times, get us down to the scheduling, because I think that's the important part. You had like the schedule up there.
No, schedule down here.
Right here. Okay, here we are today. This is general information. There is a Reddit for USC games. Poen, you want to tell them what's on Reddit right now?
Sure. So let's.
You can just tell them. Or
let's
give
have
it
the
up.
picture. Yeah.
Oh,
So we
fantastic.
create a USC Games Reddit, so for you guys to use, to discuss and whatnot. Right now it's mostly focused on getting the final game stuff up. So some of the information is also going to be here. We're going to try to get like the faculty and industry mentor to critique and give you feedback on your proposal. Otherwise you're like, oh, my proposal is awesome, it got shut down, why? I don't understand. You want to get feedback before you submit it, ideally. And so I'm going to put a list of proposals that's submitted here so that we can track it easier, and that so other people that might be interested in your project can find you. Right now we have like 3 submissions. I know there's 2 more that have been submitted, and I guess there's 4 more from the groups here that's going to submit. So we have like Resurrection Insurrection, Jim Prairie, the Kingdom Co, and yeah. Also, so here is for the people that are interested in being in lead position but not necessarily want to pitch a game. You can still contribute and work on a team. Just post like what you're good at, what you would be interested in doing, so that you can actually find a team that matches you. Because ultimately, even if you have the game idea, you don't necessarily have to be a lead. Corvalo, Emery, right? So he's the producer and he's the one pitching it. But ultimately, you want to be the person that contribute the best way you can to the project and not necessarily be the lead. So anyway, that's the Reddit. Please try to use it.
Let's go back to the schedule here. Okay, so this is a big one. Proposals due by email. Send it to all three of us, Laird, Scott, and I, so that we can all jump on it. This is a Friday, 6 p.m. That means we'll be getting them and planning and sorting them over the weekend. One of us will probably stick them in a Dropbox that we'll share, that we could then put our spreadsheets in. If you have, please use usendit.com to submit proposals larger than 5 megabytes. All right, so if you've got a piece of video that you want to send us, send it that way. We'll stick it in a Dropbox and we'll use that to share with the industry people as well. April 5th, finalists will be announced by email. That means that's a very short amount of time. So that deadline's hard. All right, try and get it to us then, if not slightly earlier. And we will have our faculty and our industry who will read through them, and we'll pick out, if you get 26 of these, we'll pick out which, half of them to present here. If you only get 9, then I guess we'll have all those present, and I don't know what we do then. It's like
I'll write 5.
arm wrestle. Okay. Then we have another date here, which is Friday, April 26th, 3 to 6 p.m. This is pitch day. Finalists present to the selection committee in person. We'll do it in here, and yeah.
Do we actually want to go to a bigger space? I can go try to find a bigger space.
If you can, actually, this room is not too bad.
It was really crowded last time, though.
Oh, it was really crowded. Well, we could try.
Yeah.
We can look for a bigger space.
So,
bigger spaces are hard to
location
get.
tentative. We'll see.
Let's do it here.
Okay.
If we change it, we'll post it. We'll post it on Facebook and make
Yeah.
sure you all figure it all out. Okay. So if the mailing list that the 2 mailing lists that we got you here today, we'll use those again. Let you know where it's going to be. Right now, it's here. If it changes, you'll get a note. You'll present to the selection committee in person. We tend to like to have it in here, Poen, because we like to provide a little bit of food for the visitors, and some of the other parks and schools don't let us put food in the rooms. That's kind of the hassle. What we typically do is have people do their presentation, then we kick them out of the room. And the people who are in here are typically the faculty, the industry participants, and then some of the leads who are leads this year, in the 491 class. So we'll have Chris and hopefully get Evan here and some other folks as well. So you'll do those presentations. We will kick everyone out of the room and we'll decide which ones won. And hopefully by midnight we'll send an email out to the big list saying these are the games we're going to build. And starting then, you go recruit, which is you get encouraged to recruit team members and get them to enroll in the classes. And again, the best results come from early involvement of all the people you need. Okay? And then, we go into summer through May 20th through Friday, August 23rd. This is summer pre-production, which is you flesh out your game design doc. You get your team set up as best as you can over the summer. A lot of you will be in internships, so you may not get a lot of time to it, but put some time into it. And then when we start the fall semester, away we go. All right, probably, I think the very first day of class, we get a really big theater somewhere, and we have you present your game designs to the whole room. And then we send up your teams. You tell us, here's the people on our team. We try and find people who are not on a team so that we can distribute those people to the various teams that are out there. All right? All right. Is there any questions so far? Anyone have questions? Yeah.
I think in the email or the Reddit or somewhere, there was mention of we should keep our proposals pretty short, like 3 to 4 pages. but you just said to submit the design document, should we, like,
I think when I went back and looked at them, they're not 3 or 4 pages in circle. Aren't
Right,
they full,
too.
aren't they pretty much a full design doc?
Well, if you can submit something that has a cohesive plan, where you don't just say, I'm thinking of this, and that you actually say, it shows that you've really tried to fold every part of the game back in on itself. You have a reward system, you've clearly thought about, this is a platformer. Here are some of the enemies, there may be more like this. There are the
Yeah.
things you avoid, there's the things you jump. That's a little clearer and will fill your team with more confidence to jump on and engineer for you, because you've really thought about the expansion of your game. Not just addendum, 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 and I've layered things on top of it, but just the reward system plays back into the power of the player, because they're then able to use
Yeah.
more spells, or they get more money. That's the basic currency for the game, and so everything is more of an Ouroboros loop than it is just a single linear experience with more and more enemies tacked on.
Yeah.
That can be, fairly terse in a couple of pages.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to rabbit on. If you've really clearly thought about your game, that's going to come across in your description.
Exactly. A crystal clear document that, remember you're going to hand this out to busy faculty and busy industry people. So if you give them 100 pages, they're not going to read it.
Right.
So what we think, I don't know. 3 to 4 might be a little bit short, especially if you have concept art, right?
Yeah, as far as just pure text, after about page 4 or 5, my eyes bleed.
Yes.
So if you could, I know that there's a desire to say, let me show you more and more, but I'm actually more impressed in there's a Koopa shell turtle, and there's a mushroom, and maybe more's like that. There's a pipe you can go down, and some stairs you can climb up, and some more hazard, landscape changes like that. I get it.
I think I always think of, God, a comic book would be the best thing which
Minimalist dance. Don't do that.
I thought about that. Other questions? Yeah, basically get us a document that makes us excited about it. If you find that you've written 25 pages of text and there's no pictures,